I'm making some kadla koramba, which is like chana dal tamarind soup or something like that. And I've already boiled some rice here in the pressure cooker. So that is not the video we're going to make today. So we're going to make a different video. We're going to unbox something. What you are seeing here is a couple of chemicals here, which is isocyanate and polyol. Okay, so when you proportionately mix these two liquids, probably this is the softer rubber and this is the hardener. So when you proportionately mix these two chemicals, you will get polyurethane. So polyurethane is something that you've been might be observing in my skating videos, which is the material being used in making the wheels, and it's also been used in making bushings. So my idea is to use this mixture, make polyurethane bushings. I've got a couple of molds with me. I'm trying a process here. If it works out, I'll be having polyurethane bushings for few years of supply, so that's what we're going to make today. I'll mount this phone on a tripod and get back to you while unboxing. Peace out. Hope you guys get a good view of the box. Since I don't have a monitor here, I may not be knowing which range I am moving the box. So forgive me if it goes off the camera. I'm placing all these things safely. I'm not an ugly unboxer, but sometimes if I am in a rush, I do some quick, shady unboxing. But I want this to be a little bit neat, so I'm cutting through the cello tape. But oops, looks like there is a little bit of leakage due to the courier. Hope you guys can see the leakage due to the delivery personals. It's not the person actually per se. In the transit there might have been some shake and it might have punched into something, and a little bit of each solution got leaked, So these are two solutions. Let's get it out. Here is the bill from Amazon and from the seller. Thanks, by the way, for the company and the courier service and the Amazon for delivering it promptly on time. Actually, well within the dated time. Good that it's not damaged, because I don't have any other containers to store all these things. These are like 2 kgs each. We will need more of this and a little bit less of this, so but still, it's like way too much for my use. But as I said before, when you want polyurethane bushings for a few years, definitely I could make use of these 2 kgs. I don't know how this one is going to work until I make a mold for myself, and I might have to figure out the proper ratios. There is a YouTube video, and I might have to revisit that YouTube video where a person shows their demonstration on making bushings out of molds, silicone molds. I have ordered some silicone rubber as well, but unfortunately, what mistake I did was like I'm very new to this terminologies, right? So I confused myself with silicone rubber and epoxy resin, and I ordered epoxy resin. Epoxy resin is something little hard plastic and it's very glossy, and silicone rubber is like of durometer 30 and it's very 30A and it's very soft. And silicone rubber has a expiry cycle, like a year or so. So then I found out and what to do and everything. So I figured out a different method right now, and I also ordered a cheaper, smaller quantity silicone rubber. The other one was like very huge bucket, like in the paint box, painting plastic box that you get, like complete bucket, So that's very huge for me, and I cannot use all that silicone rubber within a year. So I've ordered a smaller quantity, like 300 ml or so. So it's arriving in the package via India Post. So as soon as I receive it, I'll make a mold out of that silicone rubber. Until then, I have made a temporary mold out of my synthol soap to the size of the bushings. We'll take a look at that and we'll see like how I made that mold and everything. And we'll get to the process after taking a look at that mold which I created, and we'll make the polyurethane bushings out of these mixtures later. Peace out. So guys, looks like the solution is kind of leaking through the handlebars and through the bottom. Hope you could see the shiny stuff that is getting stuck to my hand. I absolutely have no idea of what is the thickness or durometer of this, viscosity of this isocyanate, but looks like it's very liquid. So I might have to shift only the isocyanate into a different container and make use of it, or possibly find a container for both of this. I've got few empty Surf Excel bottles with me. I'll try to shift it to that and see what we can do from there. Okay, I'm going to take a break from now. Peace. Probably I'll have my lunch and continue with this. very sticky, by the way. This is like very less viscous. I do not know how much durometer bushings I'll be getting out of this. The video which I saw, that person's isocyanate seemed to have a lot of durometer, like it was thick like a Fevicol or some sort of glossy liquid. So looks like I was able to contain this in 2 bottles with wider mouth, and which was actually easy for me to pour in the liquid. So it's like I've got isocyanate in a couple of bottles without spilling. That reads suku, by the way. Suku is like dried ginger and made into some candy. So it's a ginger candy bottle, and that one is like I bought some cookies, so those are coming to good use today. I have decided to open the can and even store the polyol in a different container, See, these are iron caps, and it's going to be hard for me to open this every time, and close this in this container, with a tight seal. It's going to be hard for me, so I'm shifting this to a different place, different bottle. This time I'm pouring it into some orange juice container which my mom gave it to me. Looks like that is the actual level of liquid that's going to be there in the container. It's like a little low from the cap. This one, I think they might have messed up polyol and isocyanate in different bottles. I think what you're seeing right now is isocyanate, and what we poured in the first place is polyol, because polyol is thicker. Isocyanate is the one which has a lot of viscous. So what we are pouring now is, I think it has to be isocyanate. I'll revisit the video so that I can assure like which is isocyanate and which is polyol. I think what we are pouring now is isocyanate. Isocyanate is something with less viscous, more viscous. Polyol is supposed to be the hardener, so that is the one is going to be having less viscosity. So guess we were able to secure both the liquids into proper PET bottles, and let me have my lunch and get back to you guys with the molds, with the soap molds which I made, and we'll try to make a bushing out of it. It's going to take a lot of time to cure with this kind of solution and the kind of climate that I have. It's winter here. I will dispose these empty bottles later. I'll keep it here. So guys, as my doubts were been true here, people have labeled it wrongly. The polyol container was actually isocyanate, which you see in the bigger bottle, which is of a lighter color, and the isocyanate solution was the one which was leaking was polyol. So always remember, the darker solution is always polyol and the lighter solution is isocyanate. Isocyanate is the rubber kind, and it's very viscous, and polyol is something kind of hardener, so it's kind of a less viscous liquid. So that's what the thing. And you might have seen me making these soap molds before. So guess I couldn't differentiate much, but this is the cone bushing and this is the barrel bushing. So hope this one turns out better. And I have sealed it with cellophane tape here. So once the molds dry out, I will as the mold cures, I will take apart these 4 components, so the bushings. And I'm using this art pencils to create the center hole here. So these stand pretty well because like these are soap and these are like very much 2 centimeters tall, and these are good actually. And here I have got my sensitive scale. Good, you could read the scale. My mobile phone is reading the scale even in this light. Nice. It's way too bright now. Okay, so this micro scale will help me measure the proper mixture of isocyanate and polyol. So what is required for a couple of bushings is like 9 grams of isocyanate and 4.5 grams of polyol. Okay, so we are going to make a couple of bushings, 1 cone and 1 barrel bushings, and this is a complete test. And what we need is for 2 bushings, 9 grams of isocyanate and 4.5 grams of polyol. So I'll take the proper measures with this micro scale. Let's get there. What I've got here is some cap from the soda that I use for my washing, for the clothes and everything. So I'm going to use that cup. That weighs like 7.6 grams. I'm going to subtract the weight from the solutions we are going to add in. Okay. So guys, there was a little bit of solution left in each containers. So I took the leftovers in these jars, which is like a instant coffee jar and some paprika or jam jar. First I'm taking the isocyanate. You could see from the color. So we need 9 grams of this. Okay, I took 10. We'll proportionately adjust. So we need 5 grams of this. Yeah, a little bit, 0.1 or 2 will be forgiven because like this what you see here, this soap molds are not perfect size, like they are like little big and little small. So what you can see here is this. So let's mix this properly and pour them into that mold. Okay. Since I couldn't find any stirrer properly, so what I did is like I cut the tape which was used for the packaging of these chemicals. So I cut the tape into this small strip and I'm using it to mix this well. Mixing it well here. Hope you guys can see the solution. It's beaten well. Now it has become little viscous and you could see the chemical reaction. It's foaming. I do not know why it is foaming. I'm surprised. I wasn't prepared for this. So I wasn't prepared for the foaming stuff. I was prepared for the rubber that I'm going to make, the bushings, but I was not prepared for this. Let's see what we can do with this. Oh no, this one becomes a foam. So the entire money that I invested is like it has gone into a different investment. I can use this only for sealing the roof or the windows, or for use it for false ceiling and stuff like that. Probably I may not be able to create bushings with this. Oh, so sad. Peace. Experiment failure. As you guys saw, like that one was foaming, which I did not expect. So I'm going to try it one more time with less mixture of each solution. So I'm going to take 9 grams of isocyanate this time, and I'll take half of whatever polyol which I was using, maybe 13 grams, much less than what I used before. And that mixing thing, the stirrer got into the foam actually, so we'll take another stirrer now. I've got another stirrer, but it appears like this is still going to foam. I've taken very less quantity of polyol this time, so mixed well. This is kind of foaming here. I can see some chemical reactions happening. Yeah, even if you mix a little quantity, this is going to foam. So this experiment is failure. I totally declare that. And I have an idea to like just pour isocyanate and see like if that can cure and make a bushing out of it. Since mixing polyol with isocyanate is giving us the foam, I have decided to pour only isocyanate into the molds and see if I can make a bushing out of one solution itself. I'm damn sure like this is going to make a less durometer bushing. I mean, like it's going to have less hardness. I'm damn sure about that. But it's just a wish. Like I don't want to quit just because like the results were different. So I'm gonna put this mold separately somewhere in my room and allow it cure for like 24 to 48 hours, and let's see like what we are getting out of it. Okay, peace. So guys, this is pure isocyanate which is drying inside the molds which I made. This is a 2-part mold, so it has a cutting throughout, like so. What is happening is like the durometer of this liquid, the viscosity is so thin, like it is kind of leaking through the gaps of the soap mold, even for this one. So I don't know if this will dry entirely or it will completely leak through the mold before it is getting dried. So unfortunately I was having a very tight budget this month, but I still chose to invest on this because I had some hope. But unfortunately the chemicals which I thought it would be was not the kind of chemicals which I needed, but it is the same chemical. It's isocyanate and it's polyol, but it has to be with some sort of polymer mix, a different kind probably. I look terrible. I just came after the skate practice, and when I started this video I was actually cooking, so I was still terrible in the afternoon. So probably you guys can let me know like what kind of chemicals I should use, or what type of isocyanate or polyol I should use for this. I did not know. I invested like 940 Indian rupees on this, and it went in vain. But I can still use this to make custom pillows for my mom and pop, so that shouldn't be a problem. But still, you guys let me know, and in the future I can save some and invest in the right kind of chemicals to make skateboard bushings. Okay, so this I would call a failed project, and I'm still going to post this video. Hope you guys let me know like what kind of chemicals I should use. I'm fairly new, and there is a possibility to make something like this, so you guys let me know. Peace out. The reason for me to make this attempt, even though risking all the budget that I had, is because like each pair of bushings in India cost me around 577 Indian rupees, which is like for two cone bushings and 2 barrel bushings, one for the front trucks, one set for the rear truck. And imagine, out of 940 rupees I got like 2 kgs of isocyanate and 2 kgs of polyol. If this chemicals were the right kind of chemicals, I might have had supplies of bushings for years to come, Still, I feel that it was not a bad investment. It was like a different investment. It turned out like I've invested to make foams for the pillows, but that's the reason. So it's like very super expensive in India to buy skateboard utilities and accessories, because most of the stuff is coming from outside India. And luckily we have Decathlon and Oxilo, they are providing it at the right cost in India. So otherwise it would have been really impossible for us. There is no manufacturers in India to provide the right kind of materials in the right quality for adults particularly. And me being big size rider, there are no manufacturers here. So that's the idea. So I was trying to save money. If this would have worked, this might have been a really good project, but unfortunately it turned out otherwise. So no, I'm not losing hope here, but I'm suggesting people to look out for other options wherein you can make yourself certain things at home as DIY projects, and be self-sufficient of what you need. Skateboard industry is one such industry. It kind of encourages people to be self-sufficient. It has no competitions and everything. They just give you everything and you kind of maintain your own skates. So that's the thing that I felt like saying to you. So keep trying. I'll be trying, and please let me know. Thank you. Peace out.